All right, good evening, ladies. AC4YL here. Apologize for the delay. I had to get my computer up and going, and it's a little slow this evening. Welcome, ladies, to YL OP NET. This is Catherine, AC4YL, net control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We ask that only YLs or female ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other enhance our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name-call sign in the box and click Log In. YLs who would like to check in, please give us your call sign, name, and current location. And don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
KA7SKY, Sky and Gardner, Washington.
CACKY, Linda, Knox, Indiana.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Hotel Golf, April from Welland, Ontario, Canada.
KC9YL and in Francis Creek, Wisconsin.
WA4YL, Dawn in Hudson, Florida.
AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with those check-ins, and then I think we still have a few other YLs here with us who have not checked in yet, so we'll give you a chance in just a second. So far, here with us, we have Sky, KA7SKY in Washington, Linda, KC8PKY in Indiana, April, VE3BHG in Ontario, Canada, and KC9YL joining us from Wisconsin, Dawn, WA4YL, joining us from Florida, and Margaret, AE7MB, joining us from Washington. Okay, very good. All right. Do we have any other YLs who would like to check into the net this evening? Please call now.
Whiskey 3, Lima, Echo, Oscar, Leah, Oklahoma.
Kilo Bravo 480 Mike, Rosemary, Texas. Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carol in Ontario, Canada.
Kilo Alpha 1, United Lima, November, Nisi, Andover, Massachusetts. I'll have some traffic later, I think.
Okay, very good. Also joining us this evening is Leah, W3LEO in Oklahoma, Rosemary, KB4RM in Texas, Carol, VA3WHU in Ontario, and Nietzsche, KA1ULN in Massachusetts. Let's see here. Also on the list, I see Susie in HCGM in Ohio. Good evening, Susie. Got you in the log. And Brenda just popped in, KW1YL in Connecticut. I have you in the log as well, and I think that is everyone I can see on my list here that may be cut off. I believe the Bedford, Virginia repeater, K4LYL, is connected in, so if there are any YLs out in that area who would like to check in, you may do so. Let's go ahead and pause and see if there's anybody listening in on that repeater that would like to check in. Okay, not hearing anyone this evening, but if you're out there and for whatever reason are unable to check in on the air, good evening to you as well. We're glad to have you here listening in. Okay, so I'll try and keep an eye out for anybody else that joins in, but we're glad to have everybody here. Let's see, hang on one second. We have a second here. I'm trying to multitask. We know how well that works. Rhonda, KK6VST, has just popped in, so good evening to you. Welcome to the net. We are just wrapping up check-ins here, and I think that is everybody. And Rhonda is in Pittsboro, Georgia, so welcome to the net. All right, I think I got everybody so far. Very good. Okay, so last week we kind of went down the check-in list and caught up with everybody, and everybody got a chance to tell us what they've been up to in ham radio and what upcoming events, if any, or ham radio activities they were looking forward to participating in. But in addition to that, we also were talking about contesting, and everybody was sharing whether they've participated in amateur radio contesting at all before, if they enjoy it, and anything that they wanted to tell the group about their contesting experience. And so we didn't get a chance to get to everyone last week, so we're going to try and get to you this week. Some of you on here this evening weren't on last week, so we'll get a chance to hear from you as well, and then some of you had to pop out before we got onto you in the check-in list, so we're going to try and get to everybody here. So before we do that, is anybody on this evening that is short time and will not be able to stay for the entire net, or at least most of it? Please go ahead and throw your call out now. We'll try to get to you first so we don't miss you this evening. So if you're short time, please call now. Okay, nothing heard. Very good. All right, well, let's see. I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and start at the top of the list then and go on down. I think we'll be able to get to everybody. So first up is Sky, KA7SKY. So good evening, Sky. What ham radio activities have you been up to lately, and have you participated in any amateur radio contests? And if you have, would you like to tell us about that experience. KA7SKY AC4YL with the group.
KA7SKY. I have not participated in any contesting yet. That's my goal, but I don't have anyone close to me that does contests. So for now, it's not something I'm able to do. I've been using FT8 a lot and just making some contacts that way. I'm still antenna challenged. I'm at 31 feet and I'm still not getting any good voice contact. So don't know if it's antenna or if it's propagation or both, but I don't really have anybody to compare it to right now. Haven't been doing much else, still participating in ARIES and some CERT work, helping CERT with radios, and rearranging the shack for the 10 millionth time since we got it built, but eventually I'll get it right. But no, I don't really have any contesting information to discuss, so I'm going to kick it back to you, Catherine. K7SKY, back to net.
Okay, very good, Sky. Well, no worries there. And yeah, I mean, band propagation, band conditions have certainly not been great, and unfortunately they won't be for a while yet due to where we happen to be currently in the sunspot cycle. So it'll be a while before it starts picking back up again. Not to say that there aren't time periods where the band conditions can jump up and work really well for a period of time. So you never know. They're not completely dead. Although sometimes it seems like it. There are times that it does pick up and the bands do open. The best way to check that is watch your spotting networks, and if your local club is big on posting like groups.io or Yahoo Groups updates and saying, hey, 10's open, jump on there now, which does happen. You can certainly keep your eye on it that way as well. So, as far as having difficulty making voice contacts, it may not be an antenna limitation. It may just be the band conditions have not been all that great. A great way to test that out is like a contest weekend, like November Sweeps coming up in a little over a month. That's a great contest where a lot of people are on at the same time from different areas. So, that's another way to check, because you should be able to hear somebody during that time period. But FT8 is a great option for those of you that are having trouble making voice contacts. Digital CW are some great alternatives that you can make contacts when band conditions aren't all that great. But no worries, Sky. It's great to hear from you. Sounds like you're staying busy, rearranging the shack. That's always fun, and sometimes seems like an ongoing project, no doubt. What kind of antenna do you have, Sky?
It's called a fat spectrum. It's vertical, and it's a 20-foot. I've got it raised for an extra 10-foot mast. And I have a friend who is using one, and he's located a little bit in a more flat area, and he's having some pretty good luck. Not a great amount, but a little bit better than I am. But that's the antenna I have right now. Back to net.
Okay, very good. So yeah, not bad. You've at least talked to other hams not far from you to see what has worked for them. Of course, with vertical antennas, you also run into generally more noisy conditions. I think you're in an area where you have some antenna limitations and restrictions, but I'm wondering if it's possible to put up a temporary antenna while you're operating and then take it back down so that it's not a permanent setup. For a simplistic horizontal polarization antenna, there's always a ham-stick dipole which works well, and actually, believe it or not, 40 meters works well in lower. On this one, what Melanie and I found, we didn't have to put the 40 meters up near as high as the 20 to get good luck. But you know, if for any of you gals on that haven't heard this before, I know Melanie and I have talked about it before, the ham-stick dipole is an inexpensive setup. It's very easy to do, and you can set it up in a temporary situation. So Melanie and I used that particular antenna for a lot of our national park activations, and I kid you not, literally would take the one of the military poles that had the PVC pipe into it that the ham-stick dipole mount is clamped onto, and literally would just strap that to the trunk of a tree, and you know, it was temporary. It didn't damage anything or cause any trouble, and it was really, really easy. Of course, in some of the areas we operated at, we were already at higher elevations, so that kind of worked to our advantage. But if you gals want any more information on that antenna, you can visit Melanie's QRZ page. Just go to QRZ.com, and type in AG4YL in the search box. Melanie's page will come up, and she gives a detailed description of that ham-stick dipole. All right, I'll pause for reset here. And I'm looking at the comments here in the chat. Some other folks talk about the buddy stick, which is a good one. And Nisu's talking about a spider beam 40-foot pole to put up an antenna she uses for parks on the air. So cool. If you gals want to elaborate a little bit on anything else as far as antennas go, please feel free to do that as we come down to you on the list here. So feel free to add in those comments. We'd love to hear any information there as well. Feel free to share that. All right, next up is Linda, KC8PKY in Indiana. So Linda, how have you been? What you been up to? And any contesting experience, exposure, and any other comments on antennas that you'd like to jump in and throw into the group here? KC8PKY, AC4YL with the group.
Okay, this is KC8PKY. Well, we haven't done too much lately. We had a couple of thunderstorms around here a couple of days ago, so we wisely disconnected the antennas to protect our gear. But contesting, I've done quite a bit. We usually do both CW and phone sweepstakes. We do CW under my husband's call, because who cares? And it's all usually under my call when we do the phone sweepstakes. We've also done a lot of field day. We've done I've done the 10-meter contest a few times and had a lot of fun with that. That's where I made my longest contact. I got a guy in New Zealand at that point. That's when conditions were really good. But I really enjoy it with the contesting. And hopefully now that we've got a better station set up, we'll do better this year than we've done in past years. Maybe even dare to hope for a clean sweep. And with that, back to Matt, KC8PKY.
Okay, very good, Linda. Well, awesome. Sounds like you guys are keeping busy as usual, and yeah, we had a little bit of thunderstorm activity over the last couple of days. Some pop-up storms, more rain of late, which is nice. So we'll say 33 to Margaret. She had to step out for now, but before I forget, if you gals want to come back right here on the ALARA Conference in 2 hours, Margaret will have her minnow net, which is for the gals primarily out in the northwest section of the United States, but any YLs from anywhere are welcome to check in and join those gals on that net as well. So just want to extend that invitation since Margaret had to leave to take care of some home stuff, so that's cool. All right, so Linda likes the sweeps, November sweeps, and we're going to talk more about that as the time gets closer for that. And Field Day is another great great event for anybody that has not participated in Field Day. It takes place in June every year, and it's a great time to get on the radio. Lots of amateur radio operators on there, so very good. Awesome, Linda. Well, thanks so much for jumping in, and we're glad to hear from you this evening as well. Cool. All right. Next up, April, VE3BHG. April, how have you been? And any contest activity? I think you had an event this weekend. Was it this weekend where you guys did your event over there at the library? So what's been going on with you, April? VE3BHG, AC4YL with the group.
Okay, AC4YL in the group, this is VE3BHG. Well, this past weekend, I did do a demo of Echolink for Science Literary Week at the Niagara Falls Public Library. We had a group of kids and one senior lady who had been a signal in her day and was interested in getting her ham license. But most of the participants we had about 8 kids, and they were, I would say, mostly around the 10-year age mark because they marked it as 9+. And, you know, they were, my partner had set up his station with a wire dipole for 20 meters. So he was trying to do 20 meters, and with limited success, unfortunately. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 contacts, but the band kept cutting in and out. He just strung the wire dipole up in the trees out in front of the library. So they were probably, I'd say, maybe 20 feet up, if that. So that could have been part of the issue. But with Echolink, I decided that the best way to go would be, of course, I forgot all the advice I was getting last week, which was, thank you, ladies, for, you know, making suggestions. So what I did was I went on to the UK hub, and I tried a couple of other different nets as well. And what I did was I just put it out there, you know, said who I was, and that I was were more than glad to jump in and say hello to the kids and say where they were from. And so basically I spoke to, let's see, I think I actually spoke to a guy from Hong Kong. One fella he was originally from Hong Kong. I'm going to pause for reset. Okay, back. He was in San Francisco. I spoke with a fellow in Perth in Western Australia. I spoke to another fellow in Scotland, a fellow in Nashville, a fellow in Cardiff, one in New Zealand, Jackson, Tennessee, and I went on the SCARS net, and they told me about a net that they do on Saturday afternoons, which I will look forward to participating in sometime. And I actually said, okay, now what? And the kids said, oh, go on the Russian one, see what happens. And I've never done that before because I was a little bit afraid of people not speaking English, but I put my call out there and said what I was doing, and I actually got to speak to somebody who speaks English. A lot of Russians are really glad. I have a relative that's over there. He is an English teacher, and he says a lot of his kids, or his students, they're not necessarily kids, are eager to practice their English with anybody who will speak to them. So some of them, you know, if they get on the ham radio, they really want to practice. So it's fun. You know, and I felt sorry for Phil because he just wasn't getting any traction, and I don't know how practical it would have been to try to set up in that temporary location for 40 meters. I might have to make a suggestion next time. Maybe we should try that, because 40 would probably have been a lot better for him to actually make contacts on. At least that's what I hear lately anyway. So that's what's been going on, and that was this past weekend, and I'm looking forward to the future. They're changing the night of our ClubNet meeting, not the net, but the meeting. We've met on Thursdays at the Legion for a dog's age, and now they're changing it to Wednesday as of November, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's all for me. So back to you, AC4YL Catherine. This is VA3BHG.
Okay, very good, April. Well, that is awesome. It sounds like y'all had a lot of activity, especially on Echolink. And wow, that's pretty cool. And I love the fact that you kind of asked the kids, you know, now what, and they encouraged you to get on the Russian Echolink repeater. That's really cool. And I think your friend that you spoke to there was right on. You know, a lot of other countries do teach English in their schools, and ham radio is yet a great opportunity for them to practice and have fun. And I mean, let's face it, you already have something in common with them, and they with you, and that being an amateur radio operator. So you got something in common right off the bat. That is great. Fantastic. And really what we can take from this is what you can do with Echolink. And what's wonderful about Echolink is a lot of people kind of dismiss it as, you know, not really ham radio. Well, in reality it is, because you're still linking up to repeaters that are connected through RF to folks in the repeater listening area. So you still have to follow, you know, the rules of giving your ID, you know, stating your call sign every 10 minutes. And you still follow amateur radio etiquette. So, you know, it is obviously very much ham radio. You can still connect to amateur radio operators all around the world, even though the internet does play some role in the connection. So the other nice thing about Echolink is here in the U.S., you can have a technician class license and still utilize Echolink. Let me pause for a reset. The nice thing about that is for those that are just getting licensed and starting out, they may not know which radio they want to buy, or they're still exploring the world of amateur radio, and so Echolink is free, and all you need is a computer or a portable device and a headset. So it's not hard to set up. You do have to be a licensed ham radio operator to utilize Echolink. You have those pieces and you're good to go. You can connect all over the world. It's amazing. So Echolink, I think, certainly has its place in amateur radio, and I think sometimes we take it for granted or forget about it. And quite honestly, without Echolink, this net wouldn't be near as successful and as much fun as it is, because we can all hear each other regardless of what the band conditions are currently. So thanks, April, for coming in and telling us about that awesome experience that you had, and perhaps that will encourage all of us as we do other events to perhaps bring Echolink into the picture and utilize that. Perhaps we're doing a Girl Scout event or any scouting event for that matter. You can certainly easily just put Echolink on your phone or your tablet and share with the kids that fun experience. So, awesome. All right, next up on the list is Ann, KC9YL. Ann, what have you been up to in amateur radio, and have you done any contesting, and what are your experiences with that? Do you enjoy it, and do you have any tips for anybody on the net that may be interested in contesting but haven't tried it before? So anything you'd like to share with the group, Ann, we'd love to hear from you. KC9YL, AC4YL with the group.
Thank you, Catherine. This is KC9YL. I must admit I haven't been doing a lot of contesting lately, but I've been retired since July 1st, and this was just kind of a tough year for me coming off of CW Ops class that I was studying diligently an hour a day for 6 months, and for about 6 months before that in 2017. So I gave myself kind of a reprieve from the radio, and I've been kind of trying to catch up now. I do like to contest. I treat the QSO parties as contesting, so anybody that kind of wants to get their feet wet, that's a good way to kind of start, to just kind of get your feet wet, and you can kind of treat it as a contest against yourself, or maybe find a buddy that's even in a different part of the country. It's more fun if they're where you are, because you get kind of the same conditions. But I would greatly encourage that. I would try to stay away from contests like the November Suites that have big, long exchanges, including a serial number. The exchange changes with every contact, and those contests just freak me out, even with logging software. I just don't care for those at all. So I like the ones where I can say 594 or 59 Wisconsin and be done with it. So I guess I would encourage somebody heading towards a shorter exchange type of contest like the QSO parties. I did make an FT8 contact 2 weeks ago in the Route 66 event, and haven't been doing too much operating. Let me reset. I've had quite a few club meetings, ham radio type. We've been doing VE sessions throughout the year, and we helped a local ham who just moved back to the area get an antenna set up so that he can do his CW operating and get back into the hobby again. I went to W9DXCC in Chicago a week and a half ago, and went to the Contest University and DX University classes that they had there. So that was something, I always learned something there and just enjoy getting together with everybody. I do belong to a contest club, which is something that I would also kind of recommend, because you get a lot of support and encouragement through them. I was invited only because I had done some Wisconsin QSO parties, and they just kind of picked my name off the list, and got a cordial invitation, and there really weren't any stipulations as far as enrollment. All you have to do is pay your $15 and you're in. So that's just kind of a nice way to also get a little bit more exposure. I am going to be setting up a YL booth at the Ham Fest at one of my local counties in November. Got my room booked for Dayton next year, and I'm all set with that. And I'm going to reset because I do have one quick request of the group. All right, what I am looking for is some sort of, and I'm not sure if there even is such a thing, but I would like my bencher paddle to be able to talk to the computer. And what I'm looking for is to have some sort of visual feedback that can do decoding, and I know there's software for that, but I want the don't have to want to go through the radio, because I want to be able to take my laptop and take my Venture and whatever I would need in between, whether it's software, hardware, or some kind of interface, and be able to go to a Hamfest and do a CW demo, or to be able to have something at Field Day and be able to have people use the gear and be able to see what kind of results that they get. And I guess I'm just not quite sure how things plug into what and what I would really need, and maybe I have it all already. But also to be able to use that as a way to be able to people that I can't talk to on the air because of distance or wherever or conditions, to be able to do something similar through that and be able to go through Skype or even Echolink and kind of be able to do the same thing. So if people just want to give me a quick chat, or either in the chat room, either one, the NFARL or this one, and just I can email people. So just looking for information. Back to net, this is KC9YL.
Okay, very good, and well, sounds like you're staying busy doing all kinds of cool stuff, and that's actually a great question. So what I'd like to do is I'd like us to keep going down the list so we can get to everybody. But if you gals will keep Anne's question in mind, maybe make a note of your response to it, and then we'll come back to her question at the end of the net and give you gals a chance that may have some additional information for Anne to bring that up here on the net. So Anne, if you don't mind, maybe you can you can type in your specific question of what you're looking for, what you're trying to do. That will help us remember it, and hopefully it'll help me remember to go back through the chats and circle back around to your question at the end of the net. So that's a very good one, and it's a great opportunity to show the gals, guys and gals at Hamfest, a little more on CW or other events that you might attend. So very good, Anne. Well, it's great to have you here with us, and congratulations on your retirement, and I hope sounds like you had fun at the DXCC convention. And one of these days I thought about going to the one, I think they've had it in Tennessee. I haven't made it up there yet, but it sounds like it would be fun, and some good information shared there, which is always sounds like fun. So cool stuff. Let's see here. We have Dawn up next. WA4YL. So Dawn, how have you been? What you been up to in ham radio? WA4YL, AC4YL with the group.
WA4YL. Good evening, everyone, and good to hear everybody out here tonight. Despite bad conditions, I got lucky with 2 from Italy and 1 from Slovenia. And then I haven't been doing much radio because of the bad conditions, and I use an NFET DX Stream Ultimate at the same height as the other girl used with her antenna, and I seem to get out good with it. It's an antenna I would recommend. Back to you, Catherine.
All right, very good, Dawn. Yeah, seems like FT8 is the popular mode of communication of late with current band conditions. So, very good, Dawn. Let me see here, because there was something. Oh, I wanted to, before I forget, I wanted to circle back to Anne's suggestions on contesting too, about maybe starting with state QSO parties, and that is a great suggestion because they're not really contests per se, but they're a great way to practice making short contacts, brief exchanges. So that was a great suggestion there, Anne, and I actually posted a link to where you gals can pull up the state and province QSO party calendar. It's qsoparty.eqth.net. And you can actually, I think you can, yeah, the top headers of each column are actually links, even though they don't look like links. You can click them and sort by whichever one you click on. So it defaults sorts to state province alphabetically, but if you're looking for a specific date, you can actually click on start date, and it will sort by the date. So, for example, coming up this weekend is the Texas QSO party. So if you gals are working toward Worked All State as one of your goals in amateur radio, and you need Texas in your log, this weekend would be the weekend to try and get them. So that's a great suggestion there, Ann. And you're right on the contest calendar link that you posted as well. That is one that I use quite often. It's the easiest I have found that I like to use. It's contestcalendar.com/weeklycont.php, and of course Ann was kind enough to post the link in the Echolink chat as well. But you can look for contests coming up in the next 7 days. It defaults to that layout. So I kind of agree with Ann. You know, try to start with maybe a more simple contest with a shorter exchange. But if you're really interested in contesting, Ann also suggested joining a contest club or a contest group. Perhaps there's also people in your local ham radio club that love to contest. You can perhaps invite them over to your shack and let them guide you on your own radio, or perhaps some may open up their shack and let you go over there and they guide you through a contest. We also try to do practice here on the net for any major contests coming up. We try to review briefly the rules and the exchanges and how it works, and maybe even get a couple of practice exchanges in here on the net. Get everybody comfortable that may be interested in doing that. All right, so I wanted to circle back around to that before I forgot to bring that up. So thank you, Ann, for those comments and suggestions as well on that. And Dawn, great to hear from you as well. Very cool. Margaret had to step away, so we'll go to Leah next, W3LEO. So, Leah, how have you been? What you been up to? And anything you want to share with the group on contesting or antennas or anything else? W3LEO, AAC4YL with the net.
This is W3LEO. Good evening, ladies. Sorry I've been kind of absent. For a few, you know, I work at Walmart here in Oklahoma, and we are working overnights resetting grocery for our new updated alcohol laws. So everything gets a facelift as we bring in new beer and wine to our stores. And so I got nominated to work overnights, and tonight is my last night. Thank God. 3 weeks is rough. Whew. Survived. One thing that I've done is we just completed a 3-week crash course general class. We had a testing session this last Monday. Everyone who came and tested passed, got their new general license. We will have some others come test next month for our we do a testing session once a month during right before our technical meetings. Antenna-wise, the only ones I've really worked with is the buddy pole. That's one that we have. For me, it's pretty easy to set up. I haven't had too much experience with a lot of antennas. It's something I'm still learning on. But and contesting-wise, I really have not gotten into that. I'm still waiting to set up my station from cleaning up the office and making my son a bedroom/office. So we've been kind of busy getting together. And ladies, I did post on the radio, our Young Lady Radio League, but I will be in Danvers, Massachusetts next Tuesday through Friday. My husband is an engineer here at our local TV station, and they are having a conference up there, and I was able to get to go with him, which I have never been in that area, nor has he. So Wednesday during the day, I will be free. If anyone wants to come and entertain me, again, I'll be up in Danvers, Massachusetts. And if you're friends on Facebook, message me. If not, message me if that's some, or comment in the group. I didn't post in the Wild OpNet group, but I did post in the Young Ladies Radio League group. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just preparing for Veterans Day Parade in November. Some of our club members want to do Winter Field Day, so trying to think of some things that we can do also for the community. So that's all for this round. Back to Net Control. W3LEO.
All right, very good, Leah. Well, that's great about the general class classes you guys had, the crash course, so to speak, and everybody passed. That's always exciting and encouraging. So awesome. Got some new hams coming in. They're upgrading, so that is exciting stuff. And sounds like you are staying pretty busy as usual, keeping up with stuff. So very good. And that's cool. Nisi's messaging you there, Leah, in the EchoLink chat. So maybe you gals can get together while you're out that way next week. That'd be awesome. So very cool stuff. All right. Yeah, you know, who knows? Maybe you'll get your shack back together there soon, and be able to get back on the air and get ready for some contesting. So fantastic. All right, awesome. Good to hear from you. We're glad to have you, and glad you were able to make it on this week. It's always good to have you here with us. All right. Rosemarie is next. KB4RM. Rosemarie, how are you? And what's been going on out your way? And hopefully we're not catching you in the middle of dinner. KB4RM, AC4YL with the group. Okay, we may have caught her in the middle of dinner, so we will go to Carol, VA3WHU. Carol, how are you doing, and what's been going on out your way? And would love to hear from you, VA3WHU, AC4YL with the group.
Well, it's been a very interesting evening so far, Catherine, AC4YL and the group. It's Carol here from Hamilton, Ontario. I've had another rough week health-wise, but I'm feeling a lot better today. What's been going on? I've been on ONTARS. I've been talking to people on the local net there. And also I have been doing a little bit of checking out different stations on Twitter that I haven't been on before, so that's been quite interesting. Usually like to contact the UK stations if I can, but that's always a challenge, trying to catch somebody with the 5-hour time difference as to what time of the day you need to go on. But if you can get a contact over there, it's quite nice to talk to them about things in the UK. This weekend it's the Elmira County Hamfest and Computer Fest. That's in Elmira, New York, in Horseheads. down by the Finger Lakes. If anybody's in the New York State area, you may know of it. Not sure whether we're going to go. It opens at 8 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We did make a trip down there last year, and it ended up to be a really wet, miserable day. And we got there, I guess it was around 9 a.m. And by noon, people were starting to leave. They're starting to pack their stuff up and leave. They had it all covered in plastic sheets and stuff. Like, it really wasn't a very nice day. So maybe weather permitting, we'll have another go at it this year and see if we're going to head out. And I am advertising my Kenwood TS 440S HF receiver on the net site. It's surplus to my requirements now. I don't use it. I've got my 3000, that's my, my go-to rig, and I've got the Yaesu FTDX 1200. You can never have too many radios, but I mean, how many can you operate at one time? So I have advertised my Kenwood, and I do have somebody that's interested in it that sent me an email tonight. So we'll see where that goes. This is BA3WHU, back to the group.
All right, very good, Carol. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better today, and you had a better day today than the last few, perhaps. But, we're glad to have you here with us. That is awesome, and hopefully you guys can make it down to the Hamfest and have a good time over there, and get to see some folks. And yeah, it's hard to catch the UK folks on the air for sure sometimes, and so hopefully you'll be able to make some more contacts there as well. But it's good to hear from you as always, Carol, and hope that you continue to have better days ahead on the health front. So thanks for being here. It's good to hear from you. I'm not sure if Nisi's still here with us, but she's up next. If she is, KA1ULN. If you're there, come on in and let us know how you're doing. AC4YL with the group. Alright, looks like she already left. Saw her note in there, but I wasn't sure if she was still here with us or not. So, alright. Next up, let's see, we've had, real quick before I forget, Alicia's joined us. AC1EW in Massachusetts is here with us. So welcome this evening. And, of course, Melanie, AG4YL, is here as well. So, awesome. Just want to acknowledge you gals here. All right. Susie's up next. Let me see here, Susie. Don't know if you have your mic up and going or not yet. Maybe you can type in the chat. I know you chatted in here a couple times here. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything from you. So, Susie, I'm going to pass it to you here real quick and see if you are up and going, and maybe we can catch up with you. So, N8CGM, AC4YL with the group. Okay, no worries. I'll keep my eye on the chat there for any messages from you there, Susie, and share with the group for anybody that doesn't have the Echolink chat up, so we don't miss you there. So feel free to type anything that you like there in the chat, and we'll be sure to pass that on to the gals here. Brenda, KW1YL. Let me see if you are still here with us. This list kind of gets cut off and... Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. So, Brenda, how are you? What's been going on out your way? KW1YL, AC4YL with the group.
This is KW1YL. Yeah, I'm still here. Usually I get knocked off, usually around after the first hour when I'm on this net, but so far so good. So as far as the contesting question, I have not been involved in contesting, and I'm not sure I really plan to, even when I do get on HF at home, because I have so many other priorities that are more personally interesting to me, although, you know, it's such a broad field. There's so many things to be interested in. There's no way you can do everything. It's impossible, and also do other things. So no, I'm not really interested in contesting, although on field day I have sat there for my half hour and, you know, gotten points for the field day for whatever club. I've in various clubs in every field day. It's a different club where I sit for a half hour at one of their machines and do that. So, so yeah, I guess you could say that's I've gotten points for them. I guess that's contesting, but other than that, no. And I would like to do it once, though, for the experience, once I do get HF, just because I like to do everything once for the experience. But I'm more interested in being in nets. I'm in UHF at nets every night, Sunday through Wednesday, and then net control once a month on Wednesday, and I'm on this net on Thursday, so that's one thing. And then hand tests and walkathons and public service events and being a VE. And I'm also interested in experimentation and science and learning about the scientific aspect of radio. And also the web SDR that my husband Rich and I are working on at our local makerspace. And there we're studying RTL SDR and SDR Sharp and TERP to configure, we don't say program, configure all the radios that are there, the HTs as well as the Kenwood radio that's there, and also the FTS radios. So we're working on that. And at home, I'm studying code 15 minutes a day. I practice LCWO. And also, we just got 150 feet of long wire, silver-coated copper wire, and we have to figure out, you know, where to put it, the exact length we're going to use, and exactly where. We're still working on planning exactly the right thing to do with that. But we're getting closer to HF at home, so that's going on. So that's basically my report for the week, and KW1YL back to net control.
All right, very good, Brenda. Well, cool stuff. And yeah, you know, you don't have to, not, you know, contesting isn't something that everybody enjoys, and, you know, it's just fun to explore it, and I think it's cool, all the different things that you and your OM have been busy doing as well. You know, it's fun experimenting with different antennas and getting things set up, and SDR, and I think it's cool that you're into a lot of nets. You know, everybody has their different aspects of this hobby that they really enjoy doing, and some really enjoy all different kinds of nets. Some do a bunch of Echolink nets, and that's how they get started. And so, very cool. Well, that's awesome, Brenda. Very good to hear from you. And yeah, I encourage you, once you get your HF set up, you know, maybe find some local folks in your club there that really enjoy contesting, and hang out with them during a contest and let them really get you fired up about it. And, you know, if you gals enjoy field day and you enjoy the excitement of making a lot of contacts fairly quickly, you know, that's fun. That's but, you know, there are other people that do contests that are more casual, and they're as they contest. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either. The whole idea is to have fun and enjoy the hobby, so that's really cool stuff. Very good, Brenda. It's great to hear from you. Next up on the list, I have Rhonda, KK6VST. Rhonda, would you like to come in and maybe just introduce yourself? Tell us how long you've been licensed as an amateur radio operator and how you got started in ham radio. KK6VST AC4YL with the group.
This is KK6VST, Rhonda. I'm in Statesboro, Georgia now. I was licensed while I lived in California, hence the 6 in the call sign. I was a shortwave listener for years and years, and finally got involved in ARES and as the acting emergency management coordinator at my job out in California, and a group of us had been interested in getting amateur license for a while and decided to go take the test, and we did. So that's how I got involved. I took my upgrade to, that was about 3 years ago, I upgraded to general this past field day. I'm interested in contests. I'm kind of intrigued by them, but I haven't really had a chance to participate much because I am saving up for an HF radio. I have receivers, but no radios right now for HF. I am still active out here in ARES and in emergency management, and I was a little late signing in tonight because I had been at the local club meeting. So, and I actually participate in a couple of different clubs in the area. And back to you.
All right, that's fantastic, Rhonda. Well, we're glad to have you here with us for sure. It's a joy having you. We meet right here every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern on the ALARA Conference every Thursday. So we'd love to have you come on in whenever you can. And that's really cool. It's great to hear your backstory and your interest in amateur radio. So that's very, very cool. Congratulations on upgrading to general last year and field day. That's cool. And good luck to you in saving up for that HF rig. You know, if as you get that, if you have any questions on contesting or general HF operating, you know, I want to encourage all you gals to please bring those questions right here to the net as well. That's what we're here to do, to help each other learn more about different things and explore different aspects of the hobby and have some fun too at the same time. So great to have you here, Rhonda, and hope you can make it on a regular basis. We're glad to have you here with us. All right, let me catch back up with Susie commented in 8CGM. No go at the moment with the mic. She did get it working last week. That's right, you did. I heard you just a little bit after the net before I had to disconnect. And I'm glad you were able to work Shirley there, VK5YL, who is using her special call sign, VI5 Marconi. So I don't know if she'll make it on again this week, but it was great to be able to catch up with her out there in Adelaide, South Australia. And so very good, Susie. Well, I'm glad you're able to work her with that special call. That is fantastic. So let's see, very good, awesome. So thanks, Susie, for putting that in the chat so we could share it with the group here. That is great. All right, let's see. Next up is Alicia, AC1EW. So Alicia, how have you been? What you been up to over the last weekend? Any fun ham radio activities you got coming up? AC1EW, AC4YL with the group.
Hi everyone, this is AC1EW, Alicia. I haven't done a lot this week except that last weekend I met up with Nisi at a lake near where I live, and we were trying our portable setups. Still have a lot to learn on that. It seemed like there was a lot of RF noise that I was picking up, and so we're hoping to go out somewhere a little bit more rural, I guess, away from the city. I'm also learning CW, so just on my own right now. I'm signed up for CW Ops in January. It was the first class that they could get me in. So in the meantime, I'm trying to study on my own using the Koch Farnsworth method, and that's coming along slowly. Also, I'm trying to learn a little bit more about electronics. Even though I got my extra recently, the electronics is my weak area. I've never done anything with circuit boards or kits, and so I'm challenging myself to figure some of that out. I bought a cheap Arduino electronics kit on Amazon that I wanted to try to get more familiar with the different components. And part of the reason for this also is that I have decided to take on a little project of making an adapter for a headset. I have a very nice aviation headset. The earphones, I understand, would work straight through, but the mic requires some modification, and it's good quality. I'm a private pilot, haven't flown for some time, and so I'm ordered the parts and am hoping to figure out how to put this kit together. So yeah, that's it for me right now, and I'll turn it back over to the net. AC1EW, over.
All right, very good, Alicia. Well, congratulations on signing up for CW Ops and getting started on that in January. That is great. That will be a wonderful experience for you, I am sure. Several of the gals on here have gone through at least the first section for that, the first class there. Anne's done it, KC9YL, and Sky, I think, has gone through at least the first series. KA7SKY has gone through it, and some of the other gals in here. So that's very, very cool. Well, you'll have to keep us posted and on how that goes and how you're enjoying that. But I think that will be a great way for you to do that. It's very successful for a lot of people. I've used CW Ops for that. As far as basic electronics info, I just did a quick search for that and found a really nice, cool website that's from, believe it or not, makerspaces.com/basic-electronics. I have that in the Echolink chat as well. But it gives you basically a rundown of electronic components with a picture and what they do. A very, very basic intro. And good for you for challenging yourself to do some stuff. I don't know if you have any local, like, electronic specialty type stores near you. I know here we have a place called Micro Center, and you can actually buy little basic kits. In fact, I'd like to learn soldering and a little bit more about electronics as well. So I actually got with Melanie and we went up to the store together and just looked at some of their basic intro kits so that I can kind of get started on that as well. So hats off to you for jumping in and doing that, and perhaps that website may be of some use to you. I don't know. It was just what I could find on the fly here on the net. Okay, very good. Wonderful to hear from you, Alicia, as always. So, Next up is Melanie, AG4YL. So, Melanie, what have you been up to, and anything that you'd like to share with the group here? And if you want to go ahead and circle back around to Ann's question, I know you put some stuff in the chat. I don't know if you wanted to mention anything here on the air for the other gals that might be interested as well in some of your suggestions. So I'll pass it on over to you, AG4YL, AC4YL with the group.
Okay. Well, I see my audio is a little low. I have had some issues with my audio on this computer. I'm going to see if I can do anything that will help it. Oh, I guess not. Let me go into my tools. I haven't been actually doing much of anything in ham radio lately, unfortunately. Just haven't had a whole heck of a lot of time. However, I do look forward to a couple of which is the Cranberry Sweeps and the Get Your Park On event that are coming up. And I'm wondering if this will do anything. Let me see if I... Okay, that was weird. I just dropped myself. I'm trying to eke out a little bit more sound out of here. So I'm seeing if I can do anything about it. I think I'm on an ancient computer and it's just not great at all. I'm using my phone as a hotspot. That would take an act of Congress, then that would be over before I ever got connected with my phone. So thanks, but yeah, not really practical at this point in time. So I will just try to speak a little bit better and hope that everybody can pick it up okay on me. What else? Oh, so contesting. Yes, I love to contest. Contesting is cool. And I really, I got the bug when I got on the GOTA station on Field Day back in 2015. And that was it. It was all over. I was like, okay, so when's the next contest and when can I play radio again? So absolutely love it. I love the challenge of it. Making casual contacts for me is tough because I'm just not like a chit chatter. You know, so how's the weather? What's it? Although I've done that on Echolink nets, and just done little check-in nets and things like that, and said what the weather was and what you were up to, and it's sunshiny or it's rainy, and I went out and washed my car today, that kind of a thing. But as far as rag chewing, I'm not comfortable. Not unless it's somebody that I know. I don't have conversations with strangers very well, but I love contesting because it's a little more I don't know, it's quick and easy. You have something that you're set to say, and it's just easier to do. There's a little script for it. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed it and had a good time at it. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so maybe that'll help a little bit. I'm working with my audio. I'm really trying. I'm wondering if it's the headphones or if it's just my computer. It's probably my computer. I think as far as what Ann was saying, as far as exchanges goes, I use N3FJP, and for those who don't know, that logging software, Scott does an amazing job with the logging software. And if anyone wants to try it, there are always trial. You can always try it out. It's not expensive. I use the whole package. I've got the whole package, and the nice thing about it is he's got contest-specific programs that will just knock your socks off. They're so easy. There's nothing on there that you don't need. And for instance, we were talking about the November sweeps and the exchange. And yeah, the exchange can get kind of weird. Got to include your call sign. You have to have your serial number, your precedence, and your check. But if you go to his November sweepstakes contest log, it literally has your exchange right underneath the sections worked. It checks off all the sections as you work them. It's kind of cool. And it has the serial number, the precedent, your call sign, the year you were first licensed, and your section, your RLRAC section. I'm looking at a sample picture of it right here on the screen. It's all there. His is 8 Uniform 3 FJT 76, Maryland, DC, MDC. So it's kind of funny because you can look right there and see everything that you need to make the exchange. Otherwise, yeah, I had to write this stuff on a whiteboard. I can't remember any of it. I always had to write it down on a whiteboard. Let me pause again for reset. And as far as, and I think that particular program is, you can log up to 30 contacts until you register it, so you can try it. And by the way, if you get to 29 and decide you really love it and you want to go ahead and register it, he's pretty quick. You can do it really fast. And it's $8.99 to register it, and you get it updated. And with his stuff, if you decide you want more contests, more programs, and you finally decide on the package, whatever you've already spent on his stuff, he'll put against the price of the package, which is $50, and that's lifetime with all the updates and all the new stuff that he's got and everything like that. And I never looked back from it. And I put 3 links in the Echolink chat about getting connected. One's using a specific program, piece of software that decodes your CW. In fact, it's designed. It's called CWCOM, and it's designed to actually have chit-chat communications using Morse code over the internet. But I'm certain the connection, I don't know if you have to use the software or not. But anyway, the connection is going to be the same. There's a lot of software out there. If you go to CW computer software, there's a ton of it out there. But those 3 links might get you started. And hello to everybody that's saying, oh, hello, Dawn. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. And that's it for me. QSO parties are great, and I do really like that suggestion as well for contesting and getting your feet wet. QSO parties are nice. They're cash. I like sweeps because it's cash and everyone's really friendly, and it's kind of cool. If you don't use a logging program like NCFJP, just get a small little whiteboard. That's what I did for National Parks on the Air, so I could remember where I was and what county if someone asked what kind of park it was. Just write your exchange on a whiteboard, and all you got to do is keep track of your serial, which is the number of the next person you log. Anyway, that's it for me.
All right, awesome, Melanie. Well, thanks for all the great info as always. Some good detail there, and always helpful to have a great logging program for contests with perhaps more challenging exchanges. But again, it also helps to have that for visual. And as you are tuning in and listening to the contests and the exchanges as they're being made and follow along with the logging program, it kind of all comes together after a little while and you'll start picking it up. So great suggestions there, Melanie. And of course, M3FJP is an excellent logging program. There are others out there, but that one is definitely a great one that gives you a good visual and has a contest-specific log so that you can see exactly what information needs to be exchanged, and the information that you need to exchange for your information is always in the bottom right-hand corner, which makes it real easy to glance at. But, of course, as Melanie mentioned, if you're going to do paper log or an electronic logging program that's more generic, you can always write your exchange information on a whiteboard or something and just kind of go through that as you make each contact. So very good. Thanks for all the great information and the links that you put in the chat for Ann and for the gals here that are interested in that. And I do believe Lauren is trying to live stream, so hopefully whenever she gets a chance to upload it, you gals will see those chats as well through the YouTube once she gets that uploaded. All right, with that, do we have any YLs who have not checked in this evening that would like to do so? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anyone. Do we have anybody? We have just a couple minutes left here. Does anybody else have any comments or questions or anything for the group that you wanted to mention that perhaps you remembered as we went through the net and want to jump in? Please go ahead and call now. This is AC4YL.
Hey, G4YL.
Last night around 1 o'clock this morning, we had a really bad storm come through here. Counted the seconds, and it sounded like we had some really good downbursts here. Went out today and saw pieces of palm tree all over the road. Lightning was frequent, and even my little puppy got scared. Back to net control.
Yeah, I hear you there, Dawn. It seems like everybody's been getting some weird weather. It's been kind of cooler up north, still hot and humid down here in Georgia, and we've had some storms come through, but nothing quite that bad. And then I think Carol was talking about some tornadoes going through Ontario over the last few days. So lots of crazy weather going on around here, that's for sure. But glad you're safe there, Dawn, and we're glad to have you here with us. And Melanie, I heard you come back in. Let's, if you want to give it another go here real quick, please go ahead. AG4YL, AC4YL with the group.
Okay, I don't know how better it sounds on that end. I get some hum on this end. My level doesn't seem to be any higher. It sounds louder to me, but it doesn't look like it's moving there. It doesn't look like it's moving very far across the board here with the change that I made on it. So I wanted to check and see if that was going to make any difference. I put a microphone boost on, and all it sounds to me that it's doing is putting more volume in my own headphones, but I don't seem to see any change whatsoever in the bar. I just cut it off, and I don't see any changes in the bar, so I just wanted to check that. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. This thing's always had really good playback. Maybe I ought to try it on a different computer and see if it does the same thing. Thanks for letting me experiment and see what I could do. And good to see you out there, Larry, on the K4LYL repeater. Thanks for connecting, and hope you're all doing well out there in Bedford, Virginia. and 73 and 33 to you, and 33 to all the ladies on the net. This is AG4YL, and back to net control.
All right, very good, Melanie. Yeah, it's still pretty choppy and hummy, so I don't really notice any difference in any of the changes that you made. So I don't know, maybe it's for whatever reason the jack on the computer is worn out. I guess the way around that is they have these USB to audio jacks that you can plug in, and that might be a workaround in the interim. But anywho, great to have you, and at least we were able to give it a shot and see if any changes were there. So, all right, with that, everybody, I would like to remind you to please remember to visit and post to the WILE.net Facebook group. Continue net topics and questions there in between weekly nets. We also encourage you to participate and post all ham-related questions, adventures, and anything else ham radio related in the WILEOpsGroups.io group page. We'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for live streaming and recording this net whenever possible and making it available to all through YouTube. We'd also like to thank Alara for the use of this Echolink conference node, the North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their do-drop-in chat room, and all who are linked and listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL, closing the WILE.net and returning the Alara conference node back to normal use. 33 ladies, we'll see you next week. And if you like, please feel free to come back in about an hour for the Minnow Net with Margaret. Take care, everybody. 33, AC4YL clear.